How do you get people to fund your awesomeness, to invest in your awesomeness? And what I mean by that is how do you get them to invest in your business idea? You want to launch something. You know you need some capital, whether it's $100 or 100,000 or 100 million. Where are you going to find your money? That's the subject of today's show. We've got 5 places that you can look to have people fund your great idea, i.e. your awesomeness.
Cowboy.
Welcome to a daily dose of greatness quest with your host, Trevor Crane, my daddy. He is going to help you take your life and business to the next level.
Here I come to save the day.
Trevor Crane here, 11-time #1 best-selling author and the founder of Epic Author Publishing, coming to you live every day so you can plug in every day to build your ideal business so you can live your ideal life.
If my daddy can do it, then anybody can do it because he's a weirdo.
You're supposed to make me sound cool.
Okay, so I've been doing this for a long time as far as been in business. One of the challenges I've had in life, or one of the challenges I have not had, is to take action on an idea, to start a business. When I was 4 years old, I started a business, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. I mean, I didn't I didn't go get an LLC or anything, but my dad inspired me by saying, Trevor, I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks. You're the man of the house now, and you got to take care of your family. And I just thought that was important enough that I should actually do it. And so that day I started a business. And I started a business that didn't need any capital. So we're going to talk about some strategies you can go ahead and use. If you don't want to need capital, one of the strategies I'm going to share with you. But what I did is I grabbed rocks from my yard and I tried to sell them to the neighbor. Like, I liked rocks, so I figured that my neighbor would like them too. And I created something that day as an entrepreneur that most people spend a lot of time searching for and never find. And that is a profit a day. Assuming that I sold a rock, and to my recollection, I did. I took a rock from my yard, I sold it to the neighbor for $0.25 or $1. I made a profit. So let's go ahead and get into the ways that you can find money for your deals. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you some personal stories about each of these. But one of them is kind of cool, and it's the one that you might think of like finding investors in you. And so you might call these going after like professional investors. You're going after people, you might call them sharks. So there's obviously the show called Shark Tank, and you have an idea that there's people there that have a lot of money, and there's not just Shark Tank, by the way, although that's really cool. One of my neighbors actually went to Shark Tank and pitched their idea, and then got accepted by a shark and partnered with them, and then it was a phenomenal plan for them. But the challenge with sharks is they're going to look at you, they're going to look at your business, and they're going to go ahead and say, what do you have? Now, if you have not already launched your business and you're not already started it, you're not already creating a profit, good luck getting somebody to bet on you. Like, I have a lot of people coming to me from time to time, and they ask me to invest in their deal. And when it comes down to it, I need to know that I don't want to invest my money in anything except a sure thing. So what I'm looking for, and what sharks are looking for, is they're looking for your business acumen. Like, imagine if you were going to bet on a horse, and you're going to go to a horse race. Like, if I'm going to put my money down on a horse race, am I just going to be random and just go pick the skinny horse that has never raced before? And that's where I'm going to put all my money, is just like on the gambling track? Or do I want to go ahead and put my money on the horse that wins all the damn time? Now, both of those are gambling. And I don't know if that's the greatest example here, but the challenge when you go to an investor is that it is a gamble. Actually, when you're asking somebody for money for your thing, the world could not go in your favor. A lot of ideas never pan out. So you've got to make sure you understand that investors, like sharks, are going to want to take a big share of the business. So even if you do have a great plan, they're going to look at your track record and say, okay, have you had successful businesses in the past? If you have the habit of creating multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar businesses, it's probably not going to be hard to find a shark. The challenge is a shark who comes in is going to want to keep most of the kill. they're going to want a big chunk of your business. So this isn't always the best place to go, although it can be. Like I shared with you, my friend, my next door neighbor went, they own Honey Fund. I'll just be straight up about what the company is. And they went to Shark Tank, and you can go ahead and probably do some YouTube research or whatnot and find the episode of it. It was pretty cool. They got a big deal. And they made a deal with Huffington Post. They did this co-promotion. They have just scaled their business and grown and grown and grown, all from the relationship that they got when they got a shark investor. And the biggest thing that they got from the shark investor wasn't just his money, but it was his business acumen. And just recently, they did a big partnership with Target. So actually, if you are getting married or know someone getting married and they are, going to register at Target department store, then you will be prompted on there if somebody wants to, as a bridal registry, to have people invest in their honeymoon. And it's linked directly with Honey Fund. So the first place that you can find money are sharks. The second place are called I call dolphins, and a new mentor of mine actually gave me these names, and I thought they were cute, so I'm going to keep using them. Dolphins are basically your traditional financial institutions like banks. And the nice thing about that is you go to a bank to find money and they can loan you money. I've gotten money from banks a few different times, but it seems that the challenge with banks is that they definitely, again, they're not going to just gamble their money on just anything. And banks tend to only loan you money when you don't need it. Like the few times in my life that I actually borrowed money from a bank, it was when I had plenty of money and then they were begging to borrow money or loan me money. So it's always been crazy like that. I don't know why that's the case. And you might think that banks are all happy-pappy and it's nicer than a shark because sharks are mean and dolphins are not. And that's not the case at all. It's just, a dolphin can still bite you and eat you and kill you and whatnot. And I think dolphins kill like killer whales. So, don't be mistaken. Banks are not happy-pappy, fluffy little bunnies. They are here to make a profit as well, and they can be very cutthroat about that. So the challenge with going to a bank or to the dolphins is that you just got to have a really good pitch. If you don't have a really good business plan and history, you're going to have a challenge. So the third place, and this might be for where a lot of you make this happen, and this is the first place that I went to when I was borrowing money for my ideas, is I call them fish. And fish are people that you know. They're your friends and your family. They're the people that are going to love you and decide to invest in you because they believe in you, or they're just freaking crossing their fingers, hopeful that finally your willy-nilly crazy idea is going to work out. So I've done this a lot in my life. I borrowed, when I first started my first water sports business, I bought a parasail boat, and that was like almost $80,000. We needed a truck, we needed some insurance, we needed to buy all kinds of stuff. I took all my money and I borrowed some money from friends and some from family and an uncle and things like that. Now, they either asked for a very low interest or no interest, and there was almost no collateral like in these situations. It was just like a little written agreement, and then I borrowed the money and I paid them back. Also in college, I borrowed money from my mom because I wanted to launch a business I called Campus Vision, and we created this really cool campus calendar and whatnot. And it took me a while to pay my mom back. It took me a while to pay back these loans, but I did, and that was really cool. I actually helped a friend of mine. There's another version of this, and I would call this another number in my 5, but I just want you to think of this. You have the option to sell part of your business at the very beginning. Like a friend of mine came to me and he had just borrowed like a $250,000 from investors in the business, and he borrowed it and he promised to pay it back. And what happened is his business idea flopped. So he wasted all the money, or he spent all the money, and he had nothing left over. Zip, zilch, zero, nothing. And so then he came to me and he's like, dude, I got a new plan. I'm going to borrow money again. This time I'm going to get $500,000. I'm going to start a new business, and it's going to be about this. And I said, okay, dude, you totally can do that. But what if you find, instead of just people to borrow money from, what if you made them investors in your business so you don't actually have to pay them the money back, that they're buying equity in your company? And this was a really cool strategy for him. And we went out, and to be honest, most of his investors were fish. They weren't really professional investors. They were just friends and family and acquaintances and people that knew him and that believed in him. And his passion is what sold this. He actually shared with me his business plan, and I was trying to help him write his proposal and write the whole thing, and it was very confusing. I didn't think it was a good pitch, and so I just stopped. I stopped the madness, and I was like, dude, hold on. You raised $250,000 last time because of your passion. Why don't you do the same thing here? And it really doesn't matter what you have on a piece of paper. Nobody cared anyway. These people gave you money because they believed in you. Go after the fish, and instead of borrowing the money and paying them back, sell them 10% of your business or 5% of your company at the very beginning. It was the coolest decision he'd ever made because he went out, got the $500,000 like in a month. He's freaking amazing, this guy. And then guess what? The next day, he could pay himself a salary out of that 500 grand he got, because that was now seed capital to start his next company. It was not money that he now owed and had to pay back. In fact, that deserves a whole number. I said there's 5 ways to go ahead and generate money for your business, or capital for your idea, and that's a really cool one. It's selling a portion of your company to investors. And you don't have to go to banks, although you can. You don't have to go to sharks, although you can. You can also go to your fish, and that's a really cool way to come up with money. Okay, so let me give you the next 2, because I think these are really key. This one is a strategy I think is really awesome. I used it in college. After I graduated college, for the first time in my life, the banks started sending me credit cards like, Trevor, we want to give you a credit card. So I got like my first credit card out of college. And then they gave me another one. They gave me another one. They gave me another one. So what you can do, and I have several people that are in my organization, like if someone wants to invest in what I do, and something that if they want to get their book done, if they want some coaching and mentoring help, if they're launching a business, then I oftentimes help people, and I have a financing option. And one of those financing options is I've got a friend and a business that I work with, and they actually fund like up to $50,000 to $100,000 on nothing but a good business plan and like decent credit. You can't have shitty credit. You got to have some decent credit. But he works with you on figuring that out. And it's been a phenomenal resource because he goes out and he finds all of the credit card companies that can loan you money, that are willing to loan you money on your business plan, on your personal credit, on a variety of different things. And this is scary, but I've done this time and time and time again. I've oftentimes had to fund a business if my cash flow wasn't good. I'm not telling you that this is the way to do it, but I am telling you it's a place I found money. I had all these credit cards that I was able to find and negotiate the right rates and whatnot. And it's a really cool, it can be very complicated and hard to do and hard to get good rates and hard to qualify and make it work with your credit. So I've got a company that actually does this for me with my clients, but he finds them funding to go ahead and launch their venture, to not just pay for my stuff, but to pay for all the marketing and extra things that they're going to need in their business to go ahead and launch it. It's a phenomenal strategy. And if you've never used it before, it's a place that you can go ahead and find money. And if you're thinking, well, I don't know if I want to use credit cards, that would be, I don't know if I trust myself. I don't know if that's appropriate. I don't know if I think that's too risky. Honestly, like, okay, I get it. Like, you don't necessarily want to go in debt. I love using other people's money, and so are credit cards. But if you're not willing to invest in you, why should the fish, the dolphins, or the sharks? And I think separates the men from the boys at some stage, the ladies from the little girls who are just talking about stuff. Is like, if you're not willing to go into debt, why should anybody else? If you're not willing to risk it all, why would anybody else? So this is a really important thing. If you're looking to borrow money for your idea, like, how all in are you? When I went to my fish, I went all in. I invested everything. I took everything I had to go in. So when I went to my friends and family and the people that cared about me and believed in me, they didn't necessarily believe in the business idea. They believed in me. And I can't tell you how many times I've had people give me $10, $50, $100,000 to go ahead and fund things. I know people that will loan $1 million on nothing but a word, an idea, and a hope and a prayer on the love that they have for someone. And so don't discount this as a viable option. But you got to make sure that you're all in and you're not just stealing from somebody. That you're not just, if you're not all in, man, don't ask for money in the first place. Okay, let me give you the fifth one, sixth one. I can't remember which one we're on at because I changed the numbers. Let's call it the sixth one. The sixth way that you can go ahead and get money, and this is one of my favorites. This is my new favorite. I've been doing this for the last couple of decades, or at least a decade. My favorite place to find money for your new idea and to fund your awesomeness is from your clients. And this is a great place to be. Like the world that we live in these days, you can actually pre-sell just about anything. You can go out and sell your services, sell the result, collect the money up first. My wife has a client, and they're named her Faith and Hope, and they're architects. And you might be thinking, well, I can't take the money up front. We're supposed to be paid after we do the work. Well, who creates those rules? You can go as a marketer, you can go out and sell your marketing services and you take a fee. You take $1,000, you take $10,000, whatever it is. And then with that money, now you can go do the work. You can go buy breakfast. You can go buy all the things that you need to go do, like ads and run it and do all the hard work and whatever it is. But you accept the money up front. Like right now, I don't work with any client at any stage unless they pay me up front. You pay for the services, then I show up. You pay for the doctor, then you show up. And if you're thinking, well, in my industry, you can't do that. I'm a doctor. I'm a chiropractor. I have to do it first and then I get paid. Okay, fine. You can choose that belief and then this won't work for you. Or you can do what my friends Faith and Hope did, is they worked with my wife. They hired her to help them in her business. And my wife asked them about their billing, and they decided to start taking their money up front. They got paid up front for their blueprint that they would do for someone's house. And that's the most beautiful thing in the world, because now they are incentivized at the very beginning to do their best. Not that they weren't doing their best before, but now they're not broke for weeks or months while they do the work. And so you don't have to go out and borrow money. Oftentimes, the best place for you to prove your concept is with people who pay. And by the way, if you collect new clients and they buy your new course, they buy your new program, they buy your book. I use this in strategies for my clients around promoting their books. We start talking about their books, promote their products and services behind that, sell some of that stuff. They make a whole bunch of money, and now they've gotten paid to write their book. Like, it's completely badass to get your investment capital from your clients who already believe in you. And if you're thinking, well, I don't know how to do that and I can't do that, then you need help. We all need help with stuff you've never done before. I mean, you can figure it out yourself, which is trial and error and crashing and hurting yourself and skinning your knees if you're trying to ride a bike for the first time. But that's not what happened. I was trying to train my daughter to ride a bike, and I gave her instruction and coaching and help and support. And I ran beside the bike for a long time, and I told her what to do and what not to do and where to hold her eyes and how to balance and whatnot. And within a day, like 1 or 2 lessons, she was being riding that bike. And then, yes, she fell eventually. And I wasn't there to catch her at some stage. But we talked about that as well. So when it happened, she was able to pick herself back up and jump on that bike. And we'd already talked about the potential failure that could come up. In fact, it was guaranteed. So when you work with someone to help you through this, you don't have to go it alone. That's my first and always my best advice, is to find someone to give you some help. And not just help give me money, but like help you do these things and implement it. I work with my clients and giving them strategies to get paid and to finance their ideas with making sales. One of my clients named Jess Toddfeld did this, and we were launching his new book. And he was all excited about it because the book was finally coming out, and he was working on finishing the book. And I said, dude, you need to stop working on the book, and you need to go back to my instruction I gave you at the very first and go to do some marketing, tell people that the book is coming out, and then make some sales. And he said, well, dude, if I make a sale, it's going to distract me. No. I'm like, dude, you got to make some sales. I go, how about this? How about we stop working on your book and we pre-sell it, and you become a #1 bestseller before it's written. Let's do that before you finish it. And he's like, dude, I don't know. And he's all scared. We did it, by the way. He did it in 24 hours, and we ran his #1 campaign. And then we went ahead, and while he was running his #1 campaign for his book, and he became a bestseller, and he stayed a bestseller for like 60 or 90 days in a row, and it was this really positive experience. He didn't make hardly any money because it was just the book, or I knew he wouldn't make money from the book sales. The book is only like $1. Let's say he sold 1,000 books. Great, that's $1,000. That's like not much, right? That's kind of sucks. It's good. I wouldn't throw $1,000 away, but it's not much. So what we did is we had him sell a course. And he goes, Trevor, I don't have a course. I can't sell a course. I don't have time to make a course. And I'm like, you don't have to have time to make it. Why don't we pre-sell it? He's like, holy shit. You want me to pre-sell a book, and then on the back of that pre-sell a course? You're friggin' crazy. And I'm like, dude, I've helped most of my clients get more speaking gigs, get media, do new marketing, whether it's free marketing or paid advertising. I help you launch courses, launch programs, launch new coaching and consulting things. Like, let's just do this. Just follow my freaking instructions. And he was a friend of mine, so I had to actually slap him around a little bit because he wasn't ready to listen at first. I had to go, dude, stop. Stop working on your book. And like, just do this, pre-sell this. He went out and he made, I think he sold 45 pre-sales of his course that he now sells for $2,000, over $2,000. I think he gave a discount so people only paid like $100, $200, $300, because depending on what point of the process they bought, because it got more expensive as things move forward. But how cool is that? Within the first 30 days of his book launch that he pre-sold 45 people, if my numbers are right, into his brand new course that he hadn't created either. He wrote a book, he sold a book he didn't have, and he sold a course he hadn't yet created. And then that course he did create over the next 5-6 weeks with his clients on the line. And he didn't lie to them. He didn't say this is already created. He goes, I'm going to create this every week from you, 1 week ahead of time. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. I'm going to do this with you. As we go along, it's a 6-week course, whatever it is. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to throw in this bonus. I'm going to throw in that bonus. It's going to be epic. And I'm eventually going to sell this for $2,000, $3,000, but you guys are getting in for X. $1, $2, $3, $4, $500, whatever it is. And if you want to find out about that, you go to Media Secrets. Hold on. What's it called? Media Secrets Book. MediaSecretsBook.com. Go to MediaSecretsBook.com. That's my challenge for you guys today. Because I didn't know what my challenge was going to be for you until this very second. If you've made it this far and you're waiting for the challenge, go check out Jess Todfeld's book, Media Secrets Book. Go to MediaSecretsBook.com. You will see he still has a link for you to go ahead and get his book and potentially get his course or program, whatever he's now charging for it, and you should scoop it up. He is a freaking genius. We have a little private program that we teach inside of our Epic Author Publishing piece, and we give away as a bonus to all of our clients that guarantees they will get booked on media and PR. Guaranteed. That's the program that people that join our Epic Author mentoring, our Epic Author Accelerator program. We've changed the name just recently. It's now called the Epic Author Accelerator. And one of the things they get is mentoring. The other thing they get is this get booked, and it's media secrets for authors. And getting media and getting press and getting PR is guaranteed if people come in through our program. All right. So my challenge for you today is to go get this book. Check out his funnel, because what he did, and by the way to funnel hack somebody is to buy their stuff. This is the ethical way to look at what they're doing and then model it. And you can rip it off, but rip it off in an ethical way where you model it. You model the color, the feel, the look and style of the thing, and then you make it yours. You're going to sell marshmallows or whatever you're going to sell is going to be different. But you can do that, and you should check out Jess Todfeld. He's an amazing guy. He teaches a lot of different stuff. And if you've ever wanted to get on Good Morning America or like any media, TV, radio, and print or whatnot, he has some amazing programs. And you can be introduced to him if you join our Epic Author Academy or Epic Author Accelerator. And you can just reach out to me or find him on social media or find me if you have any questions about media. I didn't know I was going to be promoting Jess Todfeld today, but he is an awesome dude. And that was the story I wrapped up with today. So that's it. Those are 6 ways to go ahead and raise money for one of your new ideas. And hopefully you found that valuable. If you'd like to leave any comments or questions, please do so wherever you're listening to this. If you're listening to it on YouTube, sometimes we post our podcast there and just put the audio there. We have comments on Instagram as well and Facebook. And just please comment, ask questions, and it's really valuable for us so that we get some feedback. If there's any other content that you'd like for me to put out, I can go ahead and do that. And if you haven't yet reviewed us or subscribed on whatever channel you're listening to this on, please do. And please share this with someone else that you know, love, and care about. I'll see you tomorrow, another daily dose of Greatness Quest.
To get even more awesomeness, which means all my best stuff, download my app by texting Trevor to 36260. It will show up right on your cell phone. Just text message the word Trevor to 36260. Talk to you soon.